In the morning at one of the big hospitals in a big city. This nurse is named Lu. She asked Dr. Wang to immediately give the patient more accommodation, because she had been here for many years. But their Dr. Wang refused to provide more accommodation, because the patient had not paid the bill for a month, and he emphasized that this hospital was not a charity. Then he ordered the officer to immediately take out the patient from the room by force. But Nurse Lu tried to stop the officers from entering, because this patient was undergoing special treatment. At the same time, someone stopped their actions by shouting loudly. It turned out that the person was Chu. He immediately rushed to the hospital to see his sister. Dr. Wang also began to prevent Chu, because for him no one should interfere in internal affairs. This was an important matter. But when he stopped Chu, his expression suddenly became very scary, as if no one could stop him at this time. Dr. Wang, who saw Chu's scary facial reaction, fell down because he was so scared when he saw it. Finally, Chu approached Nurse Lu and thanked her for giving him such important information so quickly. Dr. Wang woke up and knew that the kid was one of the patient's family members, and without hesitation, Chu immediately paid the bill. He also apologized to Dr. Wang for being late in paying the bill, because lately he had been busy with the Dawn Guild selection. He also found out about the Dawn Guild, and began to wonder if Chu was an elementalist. Finally, they immediately left there and told Chu not to be late paying the bill again. Chu continued to thank Aunt Lu for giving him such important information. For her, it was true that Chu and his sister's condition was not good, but this time Chu had offended Dr. Wang. He understood the situation this time and there was no other way, so he definitely wouldn't cause Aunt Lu any more trouble and would pay the bill on time. The night of the bright moon arrived. Chu has already paid the bill for his sister who is in the hospital. The money he received when participating in the Dawn Guild selection was already used up to pay for his sister's treatment, and now he needed a high-paying job. Suddenly he remembered something and tried to check. He looked at his stats, then with his current state which was much stronger than before, he could defeat strong monsters. He also thought about going somewhere to try his luck. The Black Street is very different from official organizations like the Dawn Guild, because it issues private missions and gathers places for unorganized elementalists. If are strong then can get money easily, but if weak then will experience bad things. It seems they got news about the Black Hand and his followers who will hunt in the very dangerous area C4. Chu also listened to their conversation, because it sounded like he could get money easily if he participated. A few moments later, one of the strongest members gave instructions regarding the location they were going to. They also seemed to listen to the instructions, and the place they were going to was very dangerous, but they seemed to ignore it. This man seems annoyed by their attitude of underestimate this hunting. He also told Yang, the leader of this expedition, that there were many people here but no one was paying attention and only a few were joining. They only got a few people, but that wasn't a problem if they played it safe. They immediately left the place, but at the same time, someone shouted loudly. It turns out that person is Chu. He wants to join the hunt to that dangerous place. They all looked confused by Chu's words. Then they all laughed at Chu, because he looked like he was still very young and definitely a newbie. This bald man responded to Chu's words and asked questions. Chu sounded curious about the reward if he managed to complete this hunt, but it looked like the bald man was angry. Without thinking, this bald man immediately hit Chu hard with his right hand. With a powerful punch from the man, Chu managed to avoid it easily, without being hit at all. He was surprised by Chu's speed, and at the same time Chu began to take attacking movements, starting to hold his sword. With a quick movement of his hand, he managed to pull out his sword in an instant, and started pointing it at the bald man. Chu's abilities have improved a lot from before, and now he has become strong. In the end, this man lost to Chu. Finally, Yang acknowledged the abilities of the kid named Chu, and he said he would share the reward with Chu. They started hunting monsters, and the monster they saw was a large golem. Chu managed to slash the golem with the lighting sword, and got 150 EXP from the two monsters he defeated. It looked like the golem was truly defeated. This golem was a high-level monster, but now he managed to defeat it easily. From afar, Chu heard their complaints. For this bald man, defeating this golem monster is still very worth it for the EXP gained. But not for them, who only have level 2 magical items, whose attacks are still very lacking, and the reason they don't attack is because they are afraid that their weapons will be damaged quickly. Hearing their complaints, the bald man became angry and started attacking them. Yang also stopped the bald man's actions. Yang also explained to them that the feeling of fear of damaged weapons equipment was not only felt by them. It also felt by the kid there, but he managed to defeat the golem and get the crystal, and for him there must be a return for something. Yang also explained to them, everyone here wants money quickly and in large amounts, so they have to do their best. Then Yang, the leader of this expedition, would guarantee their safety, or damage to weapons if it happened, so they obeyed Yang's words. Chu was still confused by their ongoing conversation. Finally they started to continue the exploration. They were all information. Chu knew that they would explore this place deeper, but for him it would not be easy. It seems that this man is telling Chu not to be nervous and to relax, but Chu is just making sure that there is no danger coming. He explained that having good skills but lacking experience could also have bad consequences, so on this expedition meeting strong monsters was certain to happen. If they succeed in this mission they will get a lot of resources, but at the same time a surprise attack will occur. The man was quickly defeated by a sudden attack from an unknown direction. Chu was confused and shocked by what was happening right now. It's turned out that the attack came from an elite variant of the flame rock monster, and finally one of the strong monsters arrived. They all seemed surprised by the monster, and Chu really didn't expect a rare monster to appear in a place like this. The danger was not over yet, they were all scared by what they saw. It can be seen that a large number of golems are already in the area. They were all surrounded by the golems and couldn't escape anymore. But not with Yang and the bald man, they were already in a safe place as if they already knew, then Yang who would support them with his skills so that they would all be safe. He also started to use the blood blessing support skill. Yang Siwen, level C awakener, language assistant. They all also get the support skill effect from the blood blessing that Yang release. From the support buff, speed and attack increased, and defense reduction, this made Chu frustrated. Finally the golems started to attack simultaneously. Chu without thinking ran and prepared to attack all the golems with his sword. Chu, with his sword skills, managed to defeat the golems one by one quickly. And he asked them to stay behind him if they didn't want to get hurt in this fight. In the end they both chose to fight together with Chu against all the golems. From afar they just watched the fight and didn't help at all. Here, Yang's plan is to not make them retreat and keep fighting. Suddenly a shock earth occurred, making them confused about what was happening. It looks like one of them was hit by a rope that emerged from the ground, which came along with the earth shock. Not long after, she was attacked by the golem from behind, because she could not escape from the red rope. It turned out to be the work of Yang, using a support spell called the blood test. And now there are only 2 people left, it looks like they are both surrounded by many golems. Yang required the 2 of them to continue to give him buying time, by continuing to face the golems, and would not make it easy for the 2 of them to get past these golems. They immediately left the place, because they had to deal with other things in this place. Chu looked very overwhelmed by these golems, then he was very angry with Yang and Bald Man. Now they will deal with a monster called Fire Rock. If they can defeat the Fire Rock Golem they will get a lot of resources, but Yang warned not to underestimate the monster. This Bald Man seemed to know the conditions he would face, and now he was ready to fight the Fire Golem. On the other side it seems like they have lost to the golems. All that was left was Chu, who was already very tired from fighting, and now he was running out of energy. For him it was a scary scene, but he was happy because he had experienced this before. There was definitely no other way than to fight this monster, and with his remaining strength he would try to defeat all the golems alone.